As the nations prepare for the 30th installation of Conference of Parties, or COP30, a call to action was made by the United Nations Secretary General. In his address at the 2025 Climate Summit, he declared that the climate targets set should ensure that COP30 concludes with a strong global response plan. Faith Cheruiyot tells us more in this week's Keeping It Green.
Brought to you by Flow. We keep your rhythm flowing at discoverflow.co.
United Nations Climate Summit 2025 set the stage for discussions on climate targets leading up to Conference of the Parties 30 in November. Secretary General of the United Nations António Guterres called on nations to ensure that COP30 will conclude with a credible global response plan to get us on track. Speaking at the 2025 Climate Summit, Mr. Guterres noted 5 crucial areas to be addressed: energy with emphasis on fossil fuels, a reduction in the use of methane, protection of forests and climate justice for developing countries, and a reduction in emissions of steel and cement.
We must end the destruction of nature's greatest carbon sinks. This could deliver a fifth of needed emissions reductions by 2030. Fourth, heavy industry. We have seen important advances in technologies to cut emissions from steel and cement and heavy transport. They must be deployed urgently. Fifth, climate justice. Developing countries that did least to cause the crisis are suffering the most. Climate disasters are inflicting damages that exceed the GDP of some small islands.
He noted the impact of droughts and floods, which take lives, fuel hunger, and inflame conflict. This, Mr. Guterres said, requires a reassessment of the international financial order.
And that requires reforming the international financial architecture to strengthen developing countries' participation. We need effective debt relief and scaled-up solutions like debt swaps and disaster pause clauses. We need a major increase in the lending capacity of multilateral development banks and significant contributions to the Loss and Damage Fund, including from innovative sources, and a major boost in adaptation finance, with developing countries meeting their pledge to double funding this year.
On the climate agenda of Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessor stressed that independent nations have the freedom to create their own climate policies. She called on developed countries to refrain from forcing developing countries into cooperation.
It cannot be ignored that the thousands of products created from fossil fuels, essential for daily life, cannot be produced economically in the quantities required from other means to satisfy the current world population. Trinidad and Tobago commits that we will, within reason, support actions to protect the environment for future generations. However, independent nations must be free to create a climate policy which is crafted to balance their development goals and poverty eradication with policies dealing with environmental protection.
Mr. Guterres summed up his argument by stating that science demands it, the law commands it, economics compels it, and people are calling for it. I am Faith Cheruiyot, keeping it green for TTT News.
Brought to you by Flow. We keep your rhythm flowing at discoverflow.co.
Protection that moves to your beat. Protect your home with Armor Security. With 24/7 monitoring, instant alerts, motion sensors, and rapid response, you and your loved ones stay protected day and night. Sign up for the Protector or Commander package today and get a free security camera and installation. Armor Security, powered by Flow, in partnership with All Pro Security. We keep your rhythm flowing. Visit us in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.